Hello, white people. Today we are going to respond to a YouTuber who goes by the name of the One True Stan and a video he made called Europeans Cry About Historical Accuracy in a Stupid Video Game. Now, before I make my counter criticism, I just want to make something clear. I would appreciate it if you do not harass this person, do not bully this person, do not spam dislikes on this person's video. For everyone who's compliant with that, I really appreciate it. You're great. For now, let's watch his video. It's about the video game Battlefield 1 and the issue that someone who left a comment on another video had with there being too many Africans in the game that ruined the immersion and was also unfaithful to the actual representation of white Europeans who fought in World War One.
Hey, what the fuck you doing? So, the other night I'm on YouTube, you know, like you do, browsing through some videos, and I actually had planned to make a Battlefield 1 discussion review style, just kind of like discussion about the game sort of video where I wanted to get people to engage and talk to me about what they think about the game. And I still am probably going to do that, but I had to put it on hold because I was a little bit taken aback, if you will, at what I found when I was watching Angry Joe's fucking review of the game. So I'm just scrolling through the comments because I was just curious because he did leave a lot of things out that I felt were some flaws in the game initially, or maybe I was wrong because the game is a little bit more flawed on console, it would seem, than on PC. But what the fuck do I know? I'm not the game reviewer. Anyway, moving on, right on to the point. So I'm reading the comments, and I was just, scrolling along, trying to just see people's varying opinions, those things that are so scary. People are afraid to have them. Oh god. Oh boy. If I don't agree with and conform to the masses, people might not like me. I just want to die. So I'm reading the comments, and, kill me. I'm reading the comments, and, so I'm reading the comments, and there's a fucking guy named Jonathan Highway. And, he's an interesting fellow, to say the least. He has a very radical opinion about the game. He didn't really find it, he didn't really enjoy it, to say the least. I'm just gonna read his comment, because I found it kinda interesting. He says, "If it wasn't for the forced political correctness down our throats, I would have bought this game." Okay. Not really sure where you're starting off there, but we'll see where it goes. Playing as the German Empire in a European map and seeing half of your teammates running around looking like Africans is the most immersion-breaking thing ever. I don't like where this is going. Not to mention the semi-auto weapons that never existed outside Blueprints. And of course, they chose to hype some random African-American unit that fought for like 6 months, rather than the French army who are nothing but a DLC. Yeah, we've already come back to the African-American thing. Is this what I think it is? Because it probably is. Is the game fun? Yes. It looks great and plays great. But is it frustrating for anyone who expected a World War I shooter? Oh, it is frustrating, whatever. This isn't World War I. This is more like a steampunk shooter, but lacking everything that makes a steampunk shooter enjoyable. Back to Verdun. Well, Jonathan Highway, Mr. John, you have a very interesting opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, I agree with some of the things you've said. I don't believe that this is a truly immersive World War I shooter, and I do think the game has some of its issues, and it has way too many automatic weapons and such. But, I still enjoy the game. I think it's not so bad, but, it's the whole, why do you dwell on the African-American thing, bud? That's what's really getting to me. Are you, a fucking Trump supporter? Maybe? No, but, alright, so let's see what he has to say. So, a couple comments come in, of course, replies, as, no one can keep their fucking mouths shut. And some people didn't really agree with Mr. Jonathan Highway's opinions. They said that something like, oh, you're basically just complaining too much because there's black people in the game, stuff like that. And, if it weren't for this follow-up reply that he gave, I honestly would not, even care. But, he started to show his colors, and I just thought it was fucked up and hilarious, so let's take a look. Are you fucking retards that mentally challenged? Have you idiots ever opened a book? Oh. Oh my. It's that taboo word. I don't think I'm allowed to say this. But, all right, disclaimer time.
Alright, so we're going to interrupt here and we will read this disclaimer out aloud. So it reads, I am only quoting what this subhuman has typed. Subhuman, alright. Please don't associate these statements with me. Now that's an interesting thing to say because, of course, the whole point of the disclaimer is that he's about to use the N-word, but we'll call Jonathan Highway a subhuman. That's A-OK. And then proceed to say, I love black people, guys. Oh my god, man, that point scoring. Right, good for you. Now, what's interesting is that he referred to Jonathan Highway as having radical ideas, which he didn't. What Jonathan Highway actually said was normal, not radical. He described the game as immersion breaking because it had too many people of an African ethnic background and it was being untruthful or unfaithful to uh, historical accuracy of just how many people of a particular ethnic background actually fought during World War One. And what Stan asked was, why do you dwell on the African American thing so much? And it's so obviously because the game was clearly motivated politically to incorporate so much diversity and so little accuracy. And we know that the motivation was political. We know it's based on progressive ideas. And that's inappropriate because this is not a fiction based game. This is a game based on non fiction. So, what is being marketed to us is a historical game, and what we receive is a fiction based on an ideology created by ideologues who have multiculturalism on their brain and trying to diversify the game's ethnicity in such a way that it can appeal to the world's demographics, as it were, in a much smaller setting. So minimizing the number of white people were actually there, which doesn't make any sense. So it's just insulting because this is history and there are actual real people who died in this war who are being insulted because their entire ethnicity is being replaced, which is their identity. Now, obviously, when Stan proceeds to ask why dwelling on this, it's obviously a poke, a prod. Come on, admit you're a racist. Say something racist. Obviously, I understand that that's the point of that there. And obviously, Jonathan Highway is a racist. I'm not going to be defending Jonathan Highway's reputation. That's irrelevant. Clearly, Jonathan Highway is a racist. But Jonathan Highway's opinion on this game being immersion breaking is not wrong or inaccurate because he's racist. That's completely irrelevant. You can do a character assassination of someone and discredit their ideas, but in this particular case, Jonathan Highway is right. This game breaks the immersion because it doesn't deal with facts, and that's the problem with the game. So let's be clear, there's nothing radical about what he's saying. This is completely normal.
Now that the disclaimer has been placed, I'm just gonna go ahead. Niggers didn't do shit in World War I. The German Empire only used them in their African colonies, and they didn't do jack shit. The Americans didn't even want to fight with them, and so they gave them to the French for the last 6 months of the war. And now, DICE forces these soldiers with a quote and then an asterisk in a World War I game, and we have everyone running around like a nigger dressed in a German uniform. Okay. I don't know if I'm actually... I should probably put a disclaimer in the video. I'm just reading it, okay, please? I know I'm white, but I love all people. I love black people. I love Asian people. My girlfriend is Korean. Please don't kill me. If that doesn't annoy you, then please fuck off my comment, as it wasn't intended for brainless fuckturds like yourselves. Apparently, if you don't think there's too many black people in World War I, in Battlefield 1, I can't even speak. This is so stupid. If you don't agree with him that there's too many black people in the game, apparently he wants you to not reply to him. Of course, people aren't gonna fucking listen to you, you stupid fucking moron, but you know, you gave it a shot. Fucking degenerates, niggers have no history to be proud of, and they try to steal every bit they can from the European one. Woo! This guy's a fucking genius. Do you hear this, guys? Holy shit. This little angry white child who sits in the back of the fucking classroom flipping his pen up in the air, chewing on the end of his erasers, and then spouting some fucking shit he read off an Aristotle book in the fucking Greek section of the library. This man right here is not a fucking degenerate, okay? You heard the man, you heard him speak. If you do not agree with him, you're a brainless fuckturd, alright? It's been stated, so say the Lord Jonathan Highway. So anyway, this keeps going on, and then the fucker basically just loses his mind slowly and ends up saying, the Greeks fought, the Serbians fought, the Italians fought, the Bulgarians fought, the Austrians fought, the French fought, the Russians fought, and basically the whole Balkans fought. You are correct, good sir. I do know a fair bit amount of World War I, and yeah, this is all true. But, you know, this is a fucking video game. So let's see what you have to say. But I don't see them in this, I guess he meant but I don't see them in this game, even though they did much more than a nigger unit in the last 6 months of the whole war. Okay, this word. You know, I have good black friends, okay? One of my best friends, Isaiah, he's a great guy. He's black as the night sky. I love the guy so much, okay? So, you know what? I don't care if Black Lives Matter people are gonna try and fucking behead me. I really fucking hate this word, and I really think it's fucked up to say this. I'm sorry I'm chuckling. It's just so stupid. Like, this is YouTube comments. YouTube heroes. Yeah, these are the fucking heroes right here. Jonathan Highway. You're a fucking hero, bud. I'm not a racist. I'm a realist. You're a fucking racist. But I guess facts are racist to brainless fuckturds like you. Well, I have been called brainless and a fuckturd. Fucktard, usually is the title I get. Don't waste your time responding. I have much better things to do than argue with retards for days long. Any other comment will be deleted. By the way, it's a total bluff. I didn't capture the whole comment chain because I have better things to do. No, I don't. And he ends up getting like 30 more replies and doesn't do a fucking thing, so he probably just got so many he couldn't keep up with it. And then finally he does end up replying, so he kind of went back on his own word, and all he says is, being a brainless fuckturd who thinks calling people racist means anything is pathetic. Yeah, this is white people. I'm so proud to be white. I want to die, please. Whew, boy. Alright, so this man is a piece of fucking work. He's a piece of artwork, really. He's a fantastic human being. I just love... He makes me so proud to be German, you know? I am German and Italian, primarily. I'm a bunch of other shit, too, but the German and Italian are the most prominent because I look German and I speak Italian, for the most part. I don't like this guy. He's a fucking lunatic, dude. Just, like, come on, these comments, this is the thing that bothers me. Like, YouTube comments are just cancer. They're so cancerous. Like, you get every once in a while the cool people who are just like, hey, nice video, I thought it was funny. No, but then you get people like this who have to go and start a fucking race war on YouTube. And it's just shit like this that makes it laughable that YouTube thinks that they can give the power to, you know, moderate content into the hands of people who watch the content, because it's very obvious the people who watch the content are fucking worse than the people who create it. If you wanna say that people who create certain content are bad, me, you have to really think about it like this. The people who watch it are worse than the people who make it, because the people who make it have to censor themselves to a certain extent, otherwise they get banned, and the people who reply to it can say whatever the fuck they want, nothing really happens to them. So, I don't know. Alright, so, you know, naturally my curiosity kicked in, and I had to see what kind of subhuman being this guy was, and, you know, what kind of content he posts or is into on YouTube, and he's very private. He doesn't really have any liked videos or anything that are available for me to see. But I did get a good look at his channel, and I don't have full pictures because I just don't fucking care. But yeah, his profile picture, if you couldn't tell, is like a fucking derp German or something. And his about section just says, "I have crippling depression and a huge need for attention." Yes, you do, sir. Yes, you do. You felt the need to say that you don't like Battlefield 1 because there's too many black people. You really need to go make some fucking friends.
Alright, now, I'm going to leave that video there. There's about 5 minutes left, but the last 5 minutes of the video, basically, it is Stan adding Jonathan Highway's videos from Jonathan Highway's channel to his video to demonstrate that Jonathan Highway is racist and probably is a neo-Nazi. Now, I'm not defending Jonathan Highway, so I don't care. Clearly, to me, Jonathan Highway is a racist, and I can agree with that. Probably is a Nazi. Again, I don't really care. He's an anonymous person. Can't deal with anonymous people. Don't know what to do with them. My issue was that just because he's racist, just because his character is one of someone who has an animosity for people of different ethnicities, it doesn't mean that what he said was wrong or irrelevant, or that when people dogpiled him in that comments thread and were calling him racist and calling him all sorts of names, including having him called subhuman, that was the only issue there, that because he was racist, that's all people talked about. To me, it is just as irrelevant as Stan telling me that he's got a Korean girlfriend and a black friend. I don't care. I'm not interested. What I'm interested in is, what is your opinion on this game being politicized intentionally in such a way that when it comes to ethnicity, the DICE team that made the game were trying to minimize the number of white ethnic people in a game that was based on non-fiction, on actual historical events. It's a video game! Yeah, we get that it's a video game, and you get that it's a video game. And I trust your intelligence that you knew that the point that Jonathan Highway was getting at was that the game was based on real historical events, but had skewed the ethnic diversity to such a degree that it wasn't as white as it should have been. And the reason was clearly motivated by politics, and the politics in question, most likely progressive politics, and the racial bigotry that comes from the progressive movement, which is essentially anti-white nonsense, in an attempt to make absolutely everything in the media, in every medium, diverse. And we had an example of this in Battlefield 1, in that you had the potential for DICE game developers to add the Harlem Hellfighters into the game so that it had diversity, and that would have been nice and people would have enjoyed that, but they went and took it too far by making the game so black that it was fake, it was superficial, it was a false telling of history. You know, there's a film that I watched called Panther. It was created by, oh god, their names have escaped me. Melvin and, what's the other guy's name? Mario. Melvin and Mario Van Peebles. They made a film called Panther. Or was it Black Panther? It was one of the two. Panther or Black Panther. I remember watching it when I was a teenager. It was the story of how the Black Panthers were founded. It was a Hollywood blockbuster. It was really good as well. It's actually a pretty good film. I didn't really know much about the history of that. Wasn't really well informed or interested prior. After watching the film, I had a half decent knowledge of what it was about historically. It would have been better if I read about it and got much better information. But the film was good, and it told me about that part of history in an honest way. If I had no knowledge of World War One and I played Battlefield 1 and got my knowledge of World War One from there, that knowledge would be skewed by politics that had been integrated into the game for no reason. It's just there. The accuracy of ethnicity, which was what is in question here, would be skewed by the fact that progressives took the white identity, minimized the numbers on purpose, maximized the numbers of how many black and brown people they were to make the game diverse. It was motivated by race. It was motivated by politics. And because of that, the history is superficial and inaccurate. It's garbage. And it's frankly insulting because those motivations are based on actual racism. If you have a problem with Jonathan Highway being a racist, which is fine, I have a problem with racists. But those motivations are racist. It's deliberately discriminating against white people. Imagine this, right? Just imagine this. I am a Hollywood producer, and I'm going to make the film Panther. I'm going to make that film. But let's just say I've got an animosity for blacks. I can't stand the blacks. I hate them. I'm a racist. I just can't stand them. But I'm going to make a film about the Black Panthers. Oh, by the way, disclaim, I'm not a racist, right? I'm making the film about them, and I decide I'm going to make the cast members white. The obvious outrage would be completely justified because it would be a farce. And that's what Battlefield 1 is when it comes to the racial diversity. It's a farce. Instead of using a liberal creativity of saying, we're going to introduce the Harlem Hellfighters into the game, and that will be the diverse part of the game. Because these are real people, and there's a real story we can tell there, and everything about it will be real. No, they had to go too far and just mix it all up into nonsense, into a fiction. It's unfair. Because if that's what's happening to our history, if we are blackwashing and brownwashing our history through the media and tolerating it in order to be tolerant of diversity, it will continue and it will keep happening until eventually white history will just be diverse history. So when you have a racist person like Jonathan Highway make the comment, N-words steal our history, it's kind of naive the way he presents that, but it's based on something correct. It's based not on black people actually doing that, but on people of all sorts who are politically motivated to change history, to adapt history to something contemporary, something modern, something that's based on progressive values, as opposed to being empirical, inaccurate. Now, Stan actually made an apology video, and it was very good, and it was very sincere, and I really appreciated it. So I'm going to leave the link to his apology video down below in the description, and you guys can go watch it. Please do not harass him.